Greetings, girls, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm I'm Commodore Terek of the heavy battle cruiser Bailiff as we continue our campaign against all of neutral shipping, which is steadily starting to fill up. We've noticed a little bit of connections over here, as well as more of our pressure way out into the middle of the neutral zone. We may actually want to push this front, just so we start getting spilling around the Federation, where we can establish our demilitarized zone. But before that can happen, we have a little bit more work to get done, so we're going to swing on by home, just to check to make sure that our ship is in tip-top condition. We have actually used an admin shuttle as well as a single spare part, so we're going to want to patch that up. There's actually no damage to the ship itself, which is rather interesting. And we're going to pop back down here to see if we can't grab a planetary assault. Unfortunately, it did not come up the shipyard assault for us. So yes, taking on 3 different locations is not all that hard, hopefully. We're going to set our systems overload and then set our PPDs back on to normal mode. I'm going to make sure that I put additional power to the forward shield just in case to have it ready. We'll come back over here and prepare the Wheedle Weasel so that we have some sort of defense. We're being escorted today by the Arias Tito as well as the Arias Caleb, which are a pair of fairly solid designs. We got a K9 Dreadnought over here as well as a KRC Heavy Cruiser. KRC Heavy Cruisers are one of the better heavy cruisers that the Romulans have access to. We're squaring off against a single freighter at the moment. It could expand, but if it doesn't, this might be a really easy mission. I'm in fact going to kick up the speed of time as we surge on forward. Also going to sap most of that shield budget. Yeah, you're all by your lonesome, aren't you, little buddy? So you're going to die. I'm going to send a probe just to make sure that you're not packing any sort of... Nope, he's not packing any kind of plasma torpedo device, so we should have a fairly simple shot on this one. His ECM is fairly high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I got too close on that one. Nail him with most of that. We'll fire none of our plasma torpedoes because they're not yet ready. Can slow down, but a plasma torpedo barrage is actually available to us, but he is still surging around at a speed of 23, which is rather impressive. I'm going to prepare the tractor beams for the point defense systems so that we have that all under control. Could fire a plasma torpedo. I don't really think it's worth it. I'm just sort of going to wallow around here. I'm going to pick up a little bit more speed because it's not the biggest of deals, and we'll also increase speed of time to the maximum because at the end of the day, yeah, he's nothing dangerous, and I can now turn off my tractor beam. Be prepared for maximum combat. And a little bit of light phaser work just in order to continue to keep the pressure up. But again, I don't really want to risk anything, don't have to spend anything, and I think we got him first, but it's not really clear. Alright, now there are a whole ton of incoming missiles, so we're going to prepare for that by setting our systems up for maximum tractor defense, as well as just be prepared for all the incoming fire. I am also going to overload my PPD and slow down the ship quite a bit, just so I have all the systems on charging. I do have 8 points of power, so I'll increase the speed once again. The other concern is, for some reason, the game doesn't seem to identify the actual speed of the incoming missile and determine on that. It's somehow based off of the speed of the game, which is more than a little irritating to have to work with. So if I just continue along at maximum speed at a high rate of speed in the actual ship, it tends to result in some fairly negative things in that weapons get through our point defense, they get through our tractor beams. You'll notice our tractor beam is on, but it is not actually triggering on anything until I slow the game down a little bit. So it does make going after FFRDs and MRZ FRDs a little bit more difficult just because they don't actually defend themselves properly, or rather they get to defend themselves much more powerfully than they should be able to. So they're going to start to slow down. Apparently I had 5 points of power somewhere locked into something. I assume we were charging a PPD. Alright, let's start to slow down, and there's the Wild Weasel. And it is dead. Wait for that to disappear, and in fact I'm just going to fire all my weapons. So good accuracy to chunk right on through, and then a good couple of hits with that, but apparently he had another Wild Weasel available. I'm just going to lay into him a little bit more since most of his systems will probably be offline. The enemy may have actually run out of firepower, which is always fun when they run out of missiles, because then I don't have to defend myself nearly as well. Strap off the tractor requirement, and yeah, that ought to kill it. Well, maybe not. Apparently the Stardock's just a little bit tougher than you might otherwise anticipate, and we're too close for our PPDs, so we're going to have to utilize our phasers for most of that, and that's been taken care of. On to the next target, and they don't appear to be defending themselves, so it does appear that we have this mostly under control at this point. It's just a matter of working through our way through the shuttles, which does mean this will be a reasonably massively successful mission, because the enemy was not able to defend themselves at any point. They got no penetrations through our shields, and we didn't actually have to use any consumables, because we are going to be refunded that shuttle once we use it. Is that plasma actually going to elicit a response? In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down the speed of time, and I'm going to prepare a maximum electronic countermeasure just to make sure that I prevent him from doing anything special. Oh crap, stop! Ah, darn it. Too close for PPDs. I wish there was a reverse button, but I wasn't paying close enough attention, and so we're just going to drift on in close. Hi, I'm going to fire a pseudoplasma torpedo at you. I'm going to shoot down your shuttle. Now that your shuttle is dead, I'm going to wait for that to go away. And I'm just going to bombard your actual structure itself. If I had the PPDs, this would be a lot easier, but I don't because I made a dumb mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't get out of range. Luckily for us, these are not Romulan Starducks, which have the ability to stealth. So Romulan Starducks are the most frustrating Starduck to have to shoot because they will disappear on you despite the fact that they can't move. So we will just get to a proper distance and kick on the high energy turn. There we go. And now I can engage using all the PPD fire. And that looks like they meant to take out the other one. Oh, no, they didn't. They're still working on it. Well, you'd think that a KFRD would be able to do this faster, but I suppose not. The KFRD is suffering from the fact that he is incapable of actually understanding the fact that a wild weasel will be dropped every single time he fires a plasma torpedo, but he seems to have gotten the hang of it. Lovely. So Cardassians and Romulans operating together. I've been working on steadily converting the Romulan fleet, but it is taking some time. Also, with all the other projects currently stacked up, it has been moved a little bit back, but eventually we are going to start seeing some rather interesting Romulan designs. So we've managed to keep a little bit more pressure onto the planet itself, and I would like to continue to eventually actually grab it, because every planet is going to increase our economic score, which is very useful to us. Also, we're a Commodore, and we have 5,000 prestige. Set Seagulls on that one. Overload all weapons, set the PPDs back to normal because we will very rarely utilize them in their overloaded mode. It's just kind of dangerous to try because the bracket of being able to shoot these PPDs is so incredibly narrow that it just becomes almost unusable, except in very, very narrow circumstances. The ISE kind of got gypped on an overload. If only the overload actually sort of wrapped around targets. We are facing a full-on Gorn heavy cruiser. According to the fleet screen, we are dealing with a BF, so a a fast cruiser? Send a probe, let's find out. So hopefully this will be a one-on-one and we'll be able to keep the speed on up. Yeah, a pair of S-type plasma torpedoes is rather significant, if I'm completely honest. I'm going to need to throw up additional power to the forward shield because I forgot to do that, but now that we've got that all surging forward, I can utilize my PPDs with maximal efficiency. Now, of course, he is utilizing all of his electronic countermeasures in order to prevent me from getting a good shot on him, which is, of course, a smart idea, but we are starting to counter that somewhat. I do need to keep my range open, otherwise this plasma torpedo is going to hurt me a lot. However, if I can get some lucky shot on here, one miss, and I think the rest of that will wrap on in. Good hits, and then full power, see if we can't pull away. We're not going to be able to, but what I can do is I can switch this off, and then I will see about putting all additional power, which I have none, into the aft shields, and this will hopefully allow me to pull the range far enough away, although he did fire both, which means he's very vulnerable at the moment, but I think this is a better plan to simply try and drag them out. That way I can hopefully protect myself and move back in very aggressively. We actually do sort of equal him in terms of actual raw firepower. Alright, there we go, and prepare a tractor beam. Buddy, I'm grabbing you. I'm going to hit you with all my plasma because you fired all of yours already. So that puts us in a much more powerful position. We were able to drag out his plasma, didn't take any damage from it, and now we can swoop back onto him, and we have plasma, and he doesn't, and he's already taken several shots from a PPD to the face. This does mean it takes us longer to get our plasma onto target, but it is a worthwhile diversion. As you may have noticed, his forward shield is almost gone. Very helpful. And most of our plasma on this one. Oh wow, that just knifed right through my shields. I was not anticipating quite that much firepower. Let's let him go. I release you into the wild, sir. Although, I may actually want to shoot you. By shooting, I mean capture you. Because you've been pretty badly damaged. How many Marines do you have on board? According to the capture screen, we're dealing with 13. That's a fairly decent number. But I might be able to get some work done on this. Prepare the warp core and patch up the port side phaser mount. And he is attempting to flee, which is very good for us. And in fact, plasma torpedoes set to normal mode. Give me the additional power. I'm not going to need him for now. We're going to rely mostly on our PPDs because he's attempting to run. And when your enemy is attempting to run, is the perfect time to use PPDs. Come on. There we go, got one. Line up the other one, so it's going to be continuous beam. And the perfect way to use PPDs, and a little bit of long-range fire into his stern, just to sort of make it known that we don't quite appreciate him firing phasers down our throat. Double check, and we are good on all weapon systems. He is still attempting to patch up the systems, but we are in a very powerful, aggressive position on him. He has lost most of his phaser systems. All the phasers that were utilized to cut through our forward shield are gone. That is not real, right? It was real. How is it? Apparently it was old data on the sensor system. I refused to believe it was real, and I was in fact wrong. Which does kind of suck because we took a little bit more damage than we otherwise want to, but other than that, we should have things mostly under control. He's lost his defensive system for his Wild Weasel. So now we have him fully corralled. How are you doing in terms of people? 10. Well, I don't want to kill you just yet. I would like to steal it. Get a little bit more long-range fire. I am going to have a PPD round. He's not going to survive that PPD round, which is one of the reasons why I'm really kind of considering my options, because I could go for the full capture. Wouldn't be all that hard. All I need to do is set my heavy weapons to off, which I think I'm going to do. So we're going to set over to half loads on the weapon system, so we're not actually wasting any power. The PPD is charged, but it will not fire at this rate. So I can now just safely select all weapons, but it's just phasers anyway. So I'm going to close in within that range of 5 that we know is so vulnerable, and really start laying into him. Check on the Marines, he's down to 9, so we're not doing as much damage as I'd like to, but we'll get within range of 3. And now we can start utilizing our other weapon systems. He's halfway to charging a Plasma S, which would be unfortunate to actually manage to hit us, but we will hopefully be able to disable him before he gets an opportunity to do anything. I am really tempted to just grab onto him and say, you're not allowed to move anywhere. That way I can just sort of control the engagement. So he is attempting to come back around, but I'm going to grab onto him. Going to pick you up, and you're not going anywhere anymore. I will slow down. Shield power into the forward shield, please. And then we can lay on into him. Okay, had to dump that because I wasn't sure it was real or not. But we're able to stop ourselves from getting killed, which is good. No, that was the real one. You cheeky son of a gun. That was clever. I'm going to steal your ship, and then I'm going to talk to your captain. And I will congratulate him on his cheeky son of a gun maneuver. Right after I punch him in the face. Alright, gotta wait for the phasers to come back online for obvious reasons. Phasers, of course, taking forever. Come on, give me some sort of phaser fire. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting back on in. So a decent amount of damage. Marines, 3 left. You could actually win on this one. 2 send in our Marines, and you're mine. Good. Increase the speed of time to maximum, and we're just gonna head on away from you. I'm gonna avoid having to take any plasma torpedo fire just by running. I'm not going to use any consumables, although, well, aside from the spare parts we had to patch up in the Marines, but hopefully this will give me some additional cash. It is a fast cruiser, so that does help somewhat. At least I think the BS for fast cruisers. Alright, captured. Nice and easy. No trouble at all with that one. Well, some trouble. It was a clever move. We started out very strong, but then we sort of ate a plasma torpedo early. Oh, actually, we ate phasers early on. So 384 prestige for a job fairly well done. Empire Defense is down to 15, so we're starting to get close to it. Pop back over to our supply yard. Give me more stuff, more things, spare parts, Marines, repairs on the whole ship, and a Wild Weasel that we ended up using. So that did end up paying for the mission. Unfortunately, a diplomatic delivery has arrived, so we must speak with the diplomats and tell them that this crap doesn't fly. Though apparently, I suppose, they need to drive on the biggest ship they can find. That way they can feel very important. Overload all systems, come back to the PPD, set them to normal mode so that we don't have to worry about that. We are squaring off against another Gorn heavy cruiser. It is a BC, so a little bit more powerful. This should have 4 plasma torpedoes, I believe. So life is getting complicated, and we only have a friendly planet which has basically no weapon systems. So that's always fun. The game has, I believe, wildly inflated ideas of how powerful a Keldon class is, because 2 PPDs and 2 plasma S torpedoes is not a significant amount of firepower. It's good, but it's not ridiculous. I am actually going to set phasers to forward, or set reinforcement to forward, start to increase the speed. I'm also going to come over to some electronic countermeasures to counteract what he's trying to do so I can get some accurate PPD fire. And I will send a probe just to double check to make sure that he's actually how dangerous he is. I think he has 2 S's, 2 F's, and he does, along with that massive phaser barrage that he's capable of putting out. Show me power system so I know how much power I have to steal. And get ready with the PPD because we're going to be running quite quickly. And in fact, I'm going to swap the forward and the aft now that that's wasted. And attack shift of 1. Good enough. Miss 2, miss 4, miss 5. Not good hits, but we are now on our way out. And that's the important thing. Because he can fire his plasma torpedoes, but he's not going to get us. And I'm going to prep another Wild Weasel. Because I want to have a nice big supply built up. He's traveling at a speed of 25, which is less than grand. I will drop a mine to try and push him back. I would like to force him to fire his plasma torpedoes, but I need time and energy for that. It's a little bit more light fire coming into us, which unfortunately our PPD is not charging. I would like to have it. And there's the plasma that I was expecting, full powered engines. Now we pull away. Also another mine. He does have 2 more plasma torpedoes that he can utilize at closer range, but we're going to hopefully be able to dance away from those and keep ourselves reasonably safe. Starting to set a little minefield. I can't maneuver away from the minefield because we got to outrun the plasma, and we're about to get up to speed. If you're 2 turns away, by the time I hit the speed of 31, I should be fine. Yeah, that's good. Right, I'll also make sure that we come into here and turn off the point defense grid because it's basically worthless. Okay, what I can do here is fire a pseudo torpedo into your teeth, and hopefully you'll react to it. Because if you do, I'll be able to dance around to your side and hit you with a whole bunch more plasma. There's the reaction that I was looking for. Lovely. So now we're going to dive on in as fast as we can, because the Wild Weasel is going to last for a little while. I should have enough Wild Weasels by now. Hopefully you don't start accelerating, otherwise I'll hit a plasma torpedo to the face and I don't want to do that. But I do want... yeah, there goes this acceleration. I want to get behind him so I can utilize a plasma torpedo, but that's not looking great. Alright, starboard side plasma. Get ready to fire. I'd like to fire both, but I'm not going to risk it. So there goes one. We'll curl around to the back. We're basically using our plasma torpedo in reverse mode. Fire them out the back of the ship so we can be nice and safe. And then plasma torpedoes we're going to set to normal mode to give me additional power to charge other things. And another good hit. So his shields are still up, but that's fine. We're sort of trying to operate the whole skirmish technique that we like to use. And are we traveling near? Okay, it's just a random dust cloud. Not sure why it's here, but it's not actually a sign of any sort of incoming asteroids, which would be bad. I'm going to see if I can't give him a skirmish with the PPD. We are a little bit close for that, but he's not yet up to speed, so I might be able to just barely tuck in to give him the shot. Both PPDs are about to be ready. One's on, second's on. Good hits on that one. Some long-range phaser fire to stun a little bit more, and I'm going to see if I can't pull away as fast as we can. And I'll drop a mine shortly if he decides to turn into me. He is not, he's turning away. Lovely, so I can pull away. So a nice little engagement right there. I'm not quite sure why he didn't turn into me to try and use the plasma as torpedoes, but if he's going to go away, I'm going to take advantage of that to slow right back down to start charging up those PPDs again. A nice little bit of long-range skirmishing as we steadily get closer and closer to the planet. But we definitely have the upper hand at this point. He doesn't have much in the way of shields. He does have a very powerful close-range bunch, but we currently have a more powerful long-range bunch. So we're trying to see if we can't manage to take advantage of that. His light phaser, well, not light, his full phaser firepower is rather considerable, and he does have a lot of speed on his shoulders, so he can rush this down really quickly. He's 2 turns away from intercepting us, which is not great. I'll use all of my current available speed to try and get away, which will extend that out to about 3 turns before he can get to me, but I am now a bit in trouble. Which plasma torpedo do I have? Port side. So I do need to bring over this way. I'm going to get him back off. There we go. And he's heading right towards it at a speed of 30, which should mean that that will trigger. And that'll cause a crash stop, unless he wants to turn completely away, in which case I will turn into him to try and take advantage of that. We'll go up in speed 3 more notches, because we can, because the plasma torpedo is mostly charged, and by the time the other plasma torpedo charges, yeah, that was not working out as well as I wanted to. And I can't fire my other plasma torpedo. Oh, because they're not oh, he may not react to them. Bad act. So missed 2, but the rest of them are going to be on. We are getting some decent hits on through. And able to just continually attack him at this kind of speed is very helpful. Oh, we are charging. Lovely. So I do want to fire a pseudo torpedo at him just to get him to stop. So I can get a nice good shot in here, but I'm not willing to risk it. I have lots of dangers that I fear. Fire that. That might be a waste, but I do want to give it a shot. Reduce our speed by 3 in order to make sure that we can charge the plasma torpedo. If I can keep on his stern, I may even be able to get a PPD shot. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. However, that does give me an opportunity. It's not a great opportunity, but it is there to sort of swoop back on in him. I'll slow down a little bit more, get some more defense going on, but we don't want to get too close. He doesn't have to turn much in order to bring those plasma S's and F's to bear. So I probably am not going to get the PPDs on target. I will be able to get a plasma torpedo away, and there goes one. And the PPDs are starting to charge. Well, they're almost there. So, yeah, that was what I'm afraid of. That's both on that side. Drop. Okay, and we're under speed. Good. Unfortunately, I'm not facing him, and I want to.
Rapid turn now.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. It's a bit of a dangerous thing because I'm about to stare down the barrel of two more plasma torpedoes, but I'm... Oh, he broke the lock. That's rare. How long until my shuttle bay is ready to go? Longer than I've got. See if I can't stun some systems offline. Bring in the port side shield. Come on, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up. Bounce. Okay. Not exactly a bounce because we took quite a bit of hits from that one, but we actually came through that one all... Ooh. Oh, I don't know if we took this out when we actually fired those PPDs or not, but that is a good pickup for us. This is probably going to cut through my shields entirely.
Point defense activated.
Oh, it was fake. Lovely. So he did try and fake me out, and I didn't use a wild weasel, which is good. So I do have an advantage on there. So he's lost most of his plasma at this point. He's only got a single plasma S torpedo, and we're in a solid position chasing him now. I'm going to slow down a little bit, make sure we get some charge going on the systems. And he's only traveling at a speed of 12. So holding the range out here, honestly, range of 5 would be better. But he does still have that S-type plasma torpedo that I don't want to deal with. But I do have a PPD about to come online, and I don't think he's outputting any... Yeah, he doesn't have any more electronic countermeasure, so I can drop that and give myself an extra point of power. I'm going to switch on over then to forward shield reinforcement and engage him with the PPD. Starting to get some good solid hits on target. And by hitting him in the back, we're doing quite a bit of damage to his power generation systems, which is very helpful. He still has a shuttle bay, which means I can't just go after him with impunity. And he just lost his shuttle bay. Okay, let's turn away. Hopefully I can get through this mission without actually taking any penetrating hits. That would be ideal. Coming in with our little carronades. The phaser 3s blasting on into target. Slow down a little bit more. Make sure I have the speed to actually do what I want to do. Yeah, he's done for. We've taken him. How many Marines you got? You got 8. I mean, I could take you. You don't have any plasma left, which is helpful. So let's come over here, and we're going to come to weapon systems. Half weapons. Could kill you outright, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save your ship by stealing you. So he still has a tractor beam defense, which he could utilize to try and push me away. As we'll start slowing way down, because we do need to get a fairly solid number of hits on him in order to wipe out his Marines. Speaking of Marines, show me the Marine tag. And point blank range for maximum effect. He's down to 8 Marines, and I've got 3 more phases that can fire. And we've knocked out the last of his weapon systems. Lovely, maximum speed of time. He doesn't have any more repair parts. So all I need to do is just continue to whittle him down until there's nothing left. He can try and hold off, but he's not going to succeed. Down to 2 Marines. Okay, now I just need an open ship. Marines, thank you. Alright, onto the planet. Mission successful. Full powered engines.
Cautious alert.
And yellow alert, because I don't need the weapon systems anymore, since he is going to be captured in short periods of time. So yeah, not bad at all. We've managed to capture 2 Gorn vessels in today's episode, and both of them were fairly cleanly done. Okay, the second battle was not all that cleanly done, but this one was. I feel pretty proud of that one. So I managed to avoid taking... Oh, game, don't do that to me. The game does not normally lag. This is very odd. It's a very old game. It's not particularly resource intensive. Alright, do this, and then this, and then this. So basically just gonna shut off the camera so I can see things a little bit clearer. And we're in range. Send to the Marines, or send to the diplomat, and beam him over. Alright, successful mission complete. The vessel has been captured and we have demonstrated our might and power. Only had to utilize 4 Marines, which, you know, that's not terrible. So 4 Marines in order to capture to get a little bit of bonus cash. Not bad at all. And we actually look pretty cool right there. This 370 prestige in total. Not bad. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I have been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. Before I see a notification every time I post these videos, press the little bell icon. Leave a comment and make sure you join us for our streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 o'clock as we play through Apollo's Vipers in Rogue Tech. If you've ever heard of Battletech, Big Stoppy Robots, or maybe MechWarrior, it's very similar in ways to Starfleet Command, and you may enjoy it if you enjoy this series at all. And I will see you all in the next episode.